Hello guys, how are you doing today? For today, I'm going to talk about a CLIL lesson plan using cultural elements in context. The idea is to specify the population that is decided to choose how cultural elements can be taught in our context and why they are important for students in their learning processes. This presentation is a practicable activity about how culture can be introduced in a real life situation. So let's begin with it. If you click here on the title, you will have a lesson plan where I try to explain a little bit more specific my proposal, okay? Just in case if you wanna read it. So let's start with the population. This lesson plan, this proposal is aimed at 11-year-old A1 English child learners from a public school in Bogota from 6th grade. And of course, if we are talking about the general objective, the main idea of this lesson plan is to develop English language skills while simultaneously gaining knowledge about boterism in the Colombian context. At the end of the lesson, students will be able to recognize and name what they see in some paintings made by Fernando Botero. During the class is also really remarkable to highlight the teachers and students' role during the class. The teacher is going to be characterized as a guide, monitor, provider, observer, and a facilitator. The teacher is going to be in charge of helping the students to achieve the initial objectives of the lesson. And of course, if we are talking about the students' role, students will develop different incredible skills such as teamwork, problem solving, critical thinking, and self-assessment. And they will have an active participation during the class. This class or this proposal will be divided into three different stages: the warm-up, main activities, and follow-up activities. If we are talking about the warm-up activity, and if you click here on this picture, there will be a warm-up activity where students' prior knowledge will be activated by asking them to link the picture of the to link the picture of a famous painter with the correct painter. Okay, so they will match some painters because they can already recognize some of them by context. Okay. In the second stage, if we are talking about the main activities, and after doing the previous stage, students will have a gallery around the classroom with some famous paintings, and they will describe what they see in the pictures and what they could perceive in some of them. For example, if we are talking about the Gioconda made by Fernando Botero, the students could have different different expressions, different opinions, okay? Because for example, if we are talking about her body gesture, her body expression, students will have different opinions, okay? For example, it probably means that she is disappointed, she is annoyed, she is depressed. Or if we are talking about the persistence of memory, the students could describe what they see. For example, watches, a mountain, nature, etc., etc. And in the last part of this proposal, in the last stage, and if we continue talking about the importance of learning about cultural elements in real life situations, will be related to the Colombian context. Yeah, students will have to represent, to symbolize or portray a sculpture from Fernando Botero or another famous painter or from another country using clay. Why clay? Because clay is one of the most emblematic and symbolic materials in Colombia used for creating different art crafts. Okay, that's why this material should be used in this activity because it's going to foster cultural heritage and creativity for students. Here you have a short sample about how some sculptures of Fernando Botero were created. Okay. And of course, it's really remarkable to provide feedback to the students because the students will have to understand what their weaknesses and their strengths they had during the class. Okay. Finally, why we are talking about Fernando Botero, the use of clay as the main material because it's going to foster creativity in students. It's going to get cultural heritage because they will understand a lot of things about Fernando Botero's background, about our context in Colombia. And of course, if we are talking about the different artistic experiences, they will help students to broaden new horizons. Okay. And that's gonna be all for today. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed my proposal. And remember that if you wanna get more information, because this video it's a little bit complicated to record it in 5 or 8 minutes. Remember that at the beginning, you have the lesson plan in order to read a little bit more in detail my proposal and how I can implement the importance of culture in a real life situation. Okay, thank you so much.